What's going on, people? It's your man, the White Bee, once again. So, we got a funny one for the masses right now from Dean Italma, Dillian Whyte's ex-brother. In my opinion, I'll show you the bars in a second, but in my opinion, there's a little bit of a sly dig here. Yeah. Dean Italma says, I find it a bit weird how two journeymen lasted 6 rounds, but my brother got sparked in 90 seconds flat, gone in 90 seconds, looking ass. Alright, I'll play it now. Here we go, bash.
Away from him, but you obviously know your brother. How much did he have left tonight? Was it a case of Moses being too good?
Yeah, let's put it down to Moses being too sharp, too young, too clean cut, and this is heavyweight boxing, man. But it is I don't know. I just feel like I still feel like when you look at it's kind of mad. The guy's his face. He's even gone with journeyman and gone 6 rounds. It's kind of like it is when you look at it, it's a bit kind of saddened how obviously it's, if this is the end, how it's ended. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what's in store for Dillian. Obviously, him, his team. And so they'll have to make that call. But yeah, when you assess it, I felt like Dillian, he's in the best shape of his life. He could have.
He's in the best shape of his life, and he didn't even last 6 rounds like the journeyman plumbers lasted. I feel it a bit weird. That's crazy, man. Imagine that. So imagine your name is Dean Italma, and you sit down there with Dillian, you know what, bro, I've been thinking about that fight the weekend, and I just find it a bit weird how you got sparked in 90 seconds, but the plumbers lasted 6. And they probably could have gone more as well, as it happens. If that had been a 12-round fight, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd have made it to that point. I don't even think there was no knockdowns. Certainly in one of them there wasn't. But yeah, in terms of where Dillian goes from here, from Dean's point, I think he goes on to say, let's play the last little bit.
Like, for me, there was more in there. I just felt like he wasn't able to do that. But then that's, again, the opponent. Fast, speed, and you know what? Truth be told, which I'm actually... That southpaw style makes everything fucked up because where you think the...
Anyway, so basically he says there... I forgot what he said now. What did he say? One more time. Sorry, people.
Saddened how, obviously, if this is the end, how it's ended. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what's in store for Dillian. Obviously, him, his team, and so they'll have to make that call. But yeah, when you assess it, I felt like Dillian, he's in the best shape of his life. He could have. They looked like, for me, there was more in there. I just felt like he wasn't able to.
That's the bit I was going to pick up on. He says there, I think that listen, I think there was more there as well. There was more there until there wasn't. It was one of them type of ones, man. But I'm not going. I've heard people come out and say, "Oh, he looked the worst ever." He didn't look the worst ever, in my opinion. If you know what you're looking at, he had the hip movement. Yeah, he had a bit of the hip movement. Italma was just that guy. I think if you put Dillian Whyte in there with Joe Joyce, he could look really good, for example. Or even with Chisora, he will look competitive. I believe. That's my base case. Now, if Chisora blows him out in a round, even if Chisora blew him out at all, given how we know the first two fights went, Chisora didn't blow out the 2025 power bottom of the year, Otto Wallin, right? So, if he blew Dillian out, then clearly he's fell off bigly. But he was saying there, maybe Dillian couldn't... He said, I think Dillian looked good, but maybe he couldn't pull the trigger or couldn't... That is what they call being shot, though, isn't it? And people have also said, he didn't throw any punches. I think most of us, I've done a tiny bit of boxing, but not throwing punches. Number one, it was only 90 seconds. Number two, he did try and throw some jabs. Yeah? So what a lot of the masses don't appreciate is, if you can't get your jab landing, how many more punches do you want to throw? Yeah. Dillian's jab was miles off every time, not even close. And I think he threw a jab once I did a video on it, frame by frame. He threw his jab once. It got like here on Italma's shoulder. And Italma spudded him right in his mouth. So the fight's very young. Dillian's trying to get his jab off, which is what they tell you to do. Yeah, get your jab off. That's like the textbook be safe narrative. Get your jab working. Build from the jab. That jab wasn't working. And the blistering speed as well. When you're not in there, I can't even imagine what it's like being in there with a Talma. But the little bit of boxing I've done, if someone's got good feet, never mind the Talma's level of feet. But like I said, how are you going to throw your hands when he's on you, he's slapped you half to death, and then he's out? Throw what? I think the very last shot, a Talma catches him with a short left southpaw right hook. And Dillian's trying to throw his own. The Talma's already whacked him and hopped out, and Dillian's probably just about here. He's not even close, man. The speed is something else. Yeah? It's of the fourth and or fifth dimension. That's what it is. So we can't actually write Dillian off. Yes, he looked bad against Tete. Yes, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets sparked by Chisora, and then we can all say, okay, he's well finished. At the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if Dillian goes in there not dealing with that phenomenal speed. But Chisora's going to be hard. His nipples will be tingling. He's going to be semi-long before the first bell goes. He's going to feel like, okay, I'm going to stick it on you now. So this should be the most competitive fight, and that's the fight to make. Chisora wants a world title shot. Listen, man, I saw Chisora get punched up against Parker, and that wasn't even Parker in his final form. I don't want that for Chisora. I don't know why Chisora... Who else is he going to fight? He wants to fight... No, he's not fighting Usyk, that's for sure. All these fights, Chisora could get hurt in, honestly. We already saw Chisora versus Fury 3. He almost got hurt in there. If Fury could punch, he'd have got hurt in there. I don't know why he's adamant. I guess it's because he's earned that ranking now. Why not? But I'll tell you why not. Serious arm could come your way is why not. Chisora did go points with Caballero, but again, that was before Caballero reached his final form. Yeah? So, Chisora should... Listen, Chisora's hanging around. Even if he wants a world title shot, get in there with Dillian in December. Dillian took a little bit of damage, mainly to his brainstem, but there's no reason Dillian should... Listen, Dillian's already done a massive Ozempic cycle, so he's ready to go in December. A 90-second fight. He didn't take that many shots. He could be back out in December. Fight Chisora in December and take it from there. The only reason Chisora wouldn't take that fight is if he thinks I might lose it and hence lose my ranking. I don't know. I won't. But Chisora said, I won't fight him. Well, what are you going to do then? I just don't see what the angle is there. It's a big fight, and we'd all watch it as well. Yeah? But as far as this bit goes, that was what I was talking about before the fight, and I guess Dillian's team was saying it as well. These journeyman went 6 rounds. And Dean Talma, to his credit, he did point out, and I agree after hearing what he said, Dillian was doing way too much rocking and rolling early on. You always say that. I think, listen, he might have got knocked out anyway. But what we know for a fact, even people like Usyk who have good feet and they have the ability to move their head. Yeah. Usyk's got a very tight guard. Do you understand? And Dillian, them other journeyman who made it 6 rounds, yes, they were negative. That's all you needed to be, man. The goal should have been, I'm being negative at least for the first 3. Yeah. At least the first round, literally. Let's get to the end of the round, man. Whoop-de-whoop. Like this, just stand there like a journeyman. Get my old legs warmed up. People say this when you get to, I don't know, what age is it? I don't know, but they say when you get to a certain age, you have to wake up and get a coffee in you. Yeah, do a bit of doom scrolling, do some stretching before you can even get out of bed, otherwise your back will go. Dillian was in the same position. He needed to get in there, feel some of the shots, have a look at some of the power from this base where he's looking at it and trying to register what's going on. Instead, he's like, the little bit of boxing I've done, I noticed when you have to catch yourself from closing your eyes. You have to actually want to keep your eyes open. Inherently, when someone throws something at you, a feint or whatever, you want to your natural reaction is to close your eyes. I'm not saying Dillian was closing his eyes, but he was missing frames. Yeah? When you're doing this, that split second when you've done a Moody cross guard and you've cut out your field of vision, or when he's rock bending too low at the waist and looking at the floor, I did an analysis on it. There's frames of it. He's looking right at the floor. Them split seconds, it makes you feel like your opponent's even faster than they are, because you haven't got that fluid timeline. You've looked at the floor and you've looked up again, and it's like, whoa, it's all happening. That's why from this base here, there's more chance of you actually watching the fight, watching what he's doing. You'll still get hit when he jumps in, but you got a base hit. It might not have mattered. You could have your hands here and then he whacks you on the back of your brainstem and you're still skew whiff. Dillian did put his hands up at the end, but that's when he was already on skates. It was already the beginning and the end at that point. He didn't come out purely on his P's and Q's, but that to some extent does show, I think, that Dillian probably had ambition, to be honest, because Dillian's never come out with his hands on his head just having a look. He actually came in there to win, hence why Dillian's always been a roller. That was part of the analysis we were doing before the fight, saying why, he has got some rolling skills and maybe that'll help him. But he clearly came out to win, not just to spoil a fight, otherwise he'd have come in there like that. But he should have been more disciplined, man, end of the day. He should have been more journeyman-like. And then, listen, people talk about Dave Allen, but that's another good example. Yes, listen, Dave Allen's not, or Johnny Fisher isn't nothing to write home about, but the benefits of what Dave Allen does, you plod on your hands are tight here. Certainly for the first few rounds, he's just a heavy bag, but that's part of the point. You're hoping that your opponent gets tired like Johnny Fisher did. Yeah? You got better vision. You're in the fight. You're not doing the rolling situation. That is the last half of the fight when you've got a read of someone. You don't want to be doing not someone blistering speed. Nothing might have worked. It's probably the case, but I never would have advised doing what he was doing. And he didn't look the most balanced either when he was doing it. Like Talma jabbed him to the body, and Dillian's like. he proper folded over, and that could be a result of the Ozempic. The Ozempic and his fake Yardi passport. He's probably 49, 48, 49, plus the Ozempic. Because Italma stabs him to the body, and he's like, it looks like he's been hit by a bullet, honestly. Italma stabbed him to the body, and Dillian, in the main, technically speaking, you want to try and hold your frame at all times. Even when you see people like Bivol defending, he has looked a bit, when he was fighting Beterbiev in both fights actually, he has looked a bit panicky with his feet, but when someone stabs you to the body, you don't want to do big, Dillian almost folded back over again. Now, it could be the fact Dillian's got a fake Yardi passport, and he's on the Ozempic, and he's had a hard career. Also, it could be he hits hard and fast, and it's shocking the central nervous system. It's probably if you put them all in the mix. Dillian's not the guy now, obviously. We know that. That's why he was 10-1. If we didn't get the memo, obviously, I thought 10-1 was a good price, but it turns out it should have been, knowing what we know now, he probably should have been 50-1. 50-1 is where fights are normally priced if they're going to get out of there in the first round. Right? 10-1 means they might win a round out of 10 type shit, man. Dillian didn't win a second of the round. Didn't land a punch. And he threw probably about 10, 20, or probably around 10 shots in the end. But yeah, this video made me laugh, man. There's one more clip here.
Do that, but then that's again the opponent, fast speed. And you know what? Truth be told, which I'm actually, that southpaw style makes everything fucked up, because where you think the shots are coming from, they're actually on the other side. But this is something you've been working on in sparring and training camp, and I don't know. Look, it is what it is.
So he said there. I mean, I never get this narrative of the southpaw. Oh, we don't. It's a different angle. You're still right on your left hand, to tell the truth, especially for someone who's experienced. If you've been doing this 10, 15 years, they can still only throw your right and their left hand at you. Yeah? So whether they're doing it, whether it's a big backhand or a jab, does it matter? You want to get out of the way / catch all of them anyway, right? It's not like you're saying, well, I'm happy to be hit with a jab. Oh no, they've changed southpaw, so now I need to be happy to be... You don't want to be hit with anything. So as long as you're looking at what's going on and trying to avoid being hit by any shot coming, if you focus on their hands, what does it matter if someone's changed angle? Does that make sense? But what would I know? I've never been in there. But the argument is what they say, oh, well, you get loads of experience with orthodox fighters because most people are orthodox. So when you get into a southpaw, it's coming at a different angle. That works both ways though, but again, they say there's more orthodox. So southpaw fighters are used to fighting orthodox. Listen, man, if Buddy McGirt Buddy McGirt, he probably had all Orthodox fighters in there. Yeah, Buddy McGirt would be the type of guy to say, yeah, man, I prepare for... Buddy McGirt was saying he prepares for all outcomes, so why does he need to watch Itama? Well, you could do the same. You could, on that basis, you could say, well, I'm just going to get Orthodox fighters in there because we prepare for it all anyway. But it don't matter. He could have been sparring with Muhammad, I am the Southpaw, Bruce Lee, and Dillian Whyte's wrinkled, Ozempic looking ass would have got splattered. But yeah, Dean Itama. This was an advertisement. Dean Itama was looking to manage Moses now. That's why he changed his second name again. Yeah, Dean Itama told Sly Doug Dillian and said, Dillian, I find it, you know what I mean? You can't even last 6 like the rest of the plumbers did. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Check out my Patreon, man. Whoopity whoop. We got 200 exclusive videos, including Dillian Whyte versus Moses Itama, with no Moody, shekel, copyright, paganism. We got the full fight breakdown. You best believe it. Click the link on my bindi right now, and don't play with me. Smash the like button, subscribe, left the bell 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Johnny.